Welcome to night school where the shadows creep. Grab your popcorn, don't fall asleep. The doors are open, let the nightmares play. You won't make it out today. Welcome to night school! With your secrets in tow, Creed paints your smile with the shame you won't show. He slashes with style, blood drips by the door. Glorious God! This is what legends are for. With the click of his pen and a therapist's sneer, he lists all your sins you didn't know were near. Smoke curls like truth in a midnight hymn. Las lecciones still smoking man. Pecados que no se extinguen sin fin. Are you scared yet?
A little confused, not exactly scared, more confused at a sense. I'm trying to figure out deep down inside if it was all because of Ed Gein. Is that why I do what I do? Is that why I watch what I watch? Is that why I say what I say? Is that why I love my mom? I don't know. Hello, everybody. My name is Tommy James, a.k.a. Mr. So Smooth, a.k.a. the Smooth Effect himself, the movie guy, baby, and of course, as you know, your favorite movie therapist. We are here. It's time. We are going to discuss the Netflix series Monster, the Ed Gein Story, or as I like to call it, the inspiration and possible, weirdly enough, an appreciation of Ed Gein's story. But as we know, Mr. Malave has mentioned, it is all because of Ed Gein himself.
It's because of him. Spoiler alert, people. It's
Spoiler.
because of Ed Gein.
It is because of Ed Gein. And that voice that you're hearing is none other than the music man himself, the gore connoisseur, Mr. Malave.
That is correct. Hello, people. Hello, people. We are exercising demons today. I am freshly removed from watching this series, and I had to jump on here and talk about it, right? Because I know you have questions. I have questions, and I have some kind of crazy logic on these answers. And I'm just, I'm pretty excited, a little worried. But as we all know, no matter what happens, it is all Ed Gein's fault.
Yes. It is all.
And we got some glorious gore because the last time I was on here, we did not have any glorious gore because, there was puppies, and I'm glad that there was no glorious gore on there, but I'm happy to talk about it today. So cannot wait.
Very pumped, Mr. Malave, to hear about that glorious gore because there is so much gore that takes place in this story in general. There's a lot going on that involves gore. And there's a lot of things involving playing with stuff, playing with yourself, playing with other people's self, playing with skin and all this weird shit. It's almost like if you created your own Barbie in a weird sense, like an evil Barbie. Oh, speaking of Barbie, we have the evil Barbie here. Edie, hello. Welcome back to Night School. Horror. Hello.
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 I'm here.
Welcome.
Hello.
I have a lot to say about this series.
If you go and check out her TikTok page, she has said a decent amount, but she said she was holding it all back to do it on this episode. Edie, I have a question for you before I continue on. Are you a fan of the song Owner of a Lonely Heart by any chance?
It's a good song. I know someone who loves it a lot more than me, though.
That's me, probably,
Yeah,
because
it's you.
Probably the number one fan, I guess. I don't know.
Listen, I've seen Yes Live.
I'm pretty sure he was butthurt when they didn't sing it live. So
He wants it back on the charts. He said so himself.
I 1,000% want it back on the charts. And yes, I was upset because number one, that is their best song. And two, they unfortunately cannot, I learned this afterwards, they cannot perform that song anymore because the lead guitarist actually wrote that song and he is no longer in the band. So Yes can no longer perform that song unless he is physically there. And they had a...
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a no for yes.
It's a no for yes on this one. And unfortunately, you will be an owner of a lonely heart. God damn. But honestly, when you feel lonely and when Yes plays in the background, you need to stop what you're doing. You need to light up a smoke and talk to the man himself Big Money Eddie, the cigarette smoking man himself, is here. Hello, Big Money.
Hello, everybody. Big Money Eddie, Grand Wizard of Horror, Master of the Macabre, and the cigarette smoking man himself. I'll tell you, I'm really excited to talk about this. Last time you heard me, I was very angry at a certain show, which will remain nameless. I'll say I was really angry. And then Tom said, you know what? Let's take out another quote-unquote franchise, Ed Gein, and let's look at, when I mean franchise, somebody who's installed in the horror lore, if you will. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And I was hoping that I would at least be happy. That's not the case. I'm still carrying anger from Alien Earth. Oh, no, I said the same.
Damn it, you threw it out there.
You said it. Now we're going to have to watch it again. Come on. Come on, Eddie. I was also very disappointed in that, but that's not what we're talking about.
No, but you know what I'm also disappointed about? The show. So I'm glad that you invited me to talk about this, Tommy. I have thoughts.
I am excited for literally the panelists that we have here because everyone's going to have a very good opinion. They're going to give us lessons. We're going to talk about some gore. It's going to get really interesting. So let's start right off the bat. We're going to start with Mr. Malave because, again, this is the Monster series. This one is the Ed Gein story. Before we begin, Mr. Malave, have you watched any of the other Monsters?
I have. I saw Dahmer.
Okay.
And I didn't see the Menendez brothers. But yeah, I watched this one. And yeah, I have. I think they do a good job sometimes. I mean, with the two that I've watched, they do a good job of setting up the whole environment and kind of immersing yourself into this crazy stuff. Because just like the Dahmer one, I watched them. You can't binge this show. I just right off the bat, like, we love horror here. I love horror. I love gore, but it's so intense, these monster shows, that you kind of have to watch like 1-2 episodes, then take a break. You know what I mean? And then come back and then do it again. Like, if you binged it, I mean, good for you. But even me at times, it was like, this is heavy. This is a little like cringy. And like, I just need a break because like my mind is just too overloaded with all of this chaotic stuff. It makes you kind of feel a little uncomfortable, right? Like, so, yeah, I mean, that's just some, without saying much. I didn't know if you haven't asked me if I liked the show or not, but just the whole experience with the monster anthologies, yeah, that's just how I do them. You know,
that's fair. I actually agree with you too, because I do believe that to binge straight through is a little rough. There are parts, and I've only watched Dahmer and obviously Ed Gein. I didn't watch the Menendez, but I don't have interest in the Menendez brothers, their story and whatnot. But I do agree. You need to take a break because it's heavy, but it's heavy not in that sense of like it's emotionally heavy. Like, no, it's like you're watching some sick shit happen. This is real. This actually happened, and you're watching it and you're going, yeah, I gotta stop. I gotta watch something else. Let me go watch Kim's Convenience or something. Maybe WWE Raw, something that can take my mind off of what I just watched.
Yeah. I've been binge watching Living Single. Let me do that.
That's fine. You know right back to some Living Single. That's a great way to find your way away from this reality. it's because it is rough. It is rough to watch.
It's rough.
It is. Big Money Eddie, have you watched any of the other Monsters?
So I haven't. And I'll preface why. I'm not a Ryan Murphy fan.
Okay.
I did enjoy a lot of his stuff at the beginning. Like, I enjoyed some of the American Horror shows, especially those first 3 seasons.
Oh, beautiful.
I liked some of 4 and 5, and they lost me by 6. And the American Crime Story, I really loved the story of OJ. That was good. That was good. But then everything else he's done, my criticism with Ryan Murphy is he wants to do too much, and he can't seem to funnel the essential information of anything he wants into one cohesive story, and it ends up becoming like, a Jackson Pollock of storytelling. And then it's just like, he has great ideas, but he never can stick the landing. So that's for me, Ryan Murphy. And so once you fall out of love with him, because at the beginning you're going like, oh, that's great, bad ending. Then it keeps happening, and you go like, dude, you haven't learned. So by the time Monster hit, I said, yep, I'm not going to watch this because guess what's going to happen? A lot of interesting, great ideas, Jackson Pollock storytelling, and then all of a sudden, no great ending.
Very good.
So,
Jesus, like,
Very
yeah.
good.
like I just like it was like an epiphany the way you were talking, Eddie. Like I was just like, holy shit, you're absolutely correct about that. Like from American Horror Story to now, like it's just wow, good job, man. Like thank you for teaching me 5 minutes into this show.
That's
Great.
right. That's very good. I like that. I like
I
the way
haven't
you
lighted
put
a
that.
cigarette yet.
And he hasn't even lit the cigarette yet. So we have more to come. Edie, what about you? Have you watched any of the other monster series?
I did watch the Dahmer series. I also wasn't super interested in watching the I don't even know their name.
Menendez.
Menendez. Yeah, I wasn't super interested. I actually didn't even know the second, I guess, season even happened, to be honest. And yeah, so I watched Dahmer, and I think that one was done slightly better than like as far as like sticking to what actually happened, but also a lot of added extra stuff that didn't really need to be there because Ryan Murphy does have great great storylines, but they're all just jumbled and don't. I feel like they just never come together properly as they should. Kind of like Eddie just said, like the ideas are there, but it's all kind of all over the place.
Yeah, he is a very mumbo jumbo kind of like writer and director. I actually give him a lot of credit that he's willing to take on these kind of, tasks, these projects. I don't like how he does it though. Like that's my biggest issue. It's like, if you want to tell a story, then tell a story. You fabricate too much because when it becomes fictional, it's where it's not the story anymore. And you're just, if that's the case, just, like I said in the beginning, then say it's the inspiration of Ed Gein's story, and yes, you can start that way, inspired by true events, kind of like when you watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it tells you it's inspired by true events. It's not, this is real. This has really happened.
I would even call it Ed Gein American made, in the sense of there's the real story of what actually happened and how the media, pop culture, blew it into this bigger legend, like American made. Like if that's what you're trying to say, you have to focus on that story. You can't focus on what actually happened. Maybe do what actually happened in one episode and spread out the rest in 7 episodes, because you jumble too much.
Yes, I do agree with you on that one. I actually kind of like that, the American made, because of the situation, Hollywood and just America in general, they take this story and they could just make the money, man, make the money. So in that case, big money. I'll go to you on this one. You hear that Monster is doing an Ed Gein story. What is your first reaction knowing that you're about to see a story about the man himself, Ed Gein?
So, let me clarify the question first. Just what was I expecting when I watched before I started watching?
Reaction. What was your first reaction hearing about it?
Oh,
and then what did you expect?
Okay, so I honestly didn't hear about it because I'm so divorced. Like I think I mentioned it before. I've tried to remove myself completely from trailers.
Yes.
Because I've learned that trailers lie way too much to me. And I want to take the movie in without seeing reviews, without seeing trailers. Like I might see a trailer once in a while, but I try to not do that too much. Having said that, I hear Netflix is doing something, and I hear Ryan Murphy, although I later found out that he was not involved directly with this show, are doing something. My first thought is, well, they're gonna do a Southern Gothic horror, even though Wisconsin's not in the South, but it's gonna be basically a Southern Gothic take on the whole thing, and which was accurate. But what I was not expecting was the glamorizing of it. That was what I was not expecting.
Yeah.
That was the part that threw me off completely.
Yes. I can understand that too. Edie, what about you? First reactions knowing that the next monster series is indeed the Ed Gein story. How'd you feel? What'd you think? What'd you expect?
I was super excited to hear that it was going to be on Ed Gein just because I've been following the story for years and I'm not like a super big true crime girly, but I've just been following it. Obviously, like Psycho and stuff are inspired by him and I'm a huge fan. But I same thing kind of like it was just so over like I'm trying to get my thoughts together. I apologize. The same thing though, like it was just trying to get my words to come out and they're not coming
Just
out.
say them.
Just say them.
Just fucking say it.
Yeah, it was just kind of it wasn't what I expected. I wouldn't necessarily say I was disappointed. I was also super happy to hear Charlie Hunnam was playing him, but also kind of pissed because I was like, why is Ed Gein hot? As a huge Charlie Hunnam fan. I was like, why are we doing that? I mean, not that they didn't kind of do that with Dahmer too, but they kind of just that kind of angered me, but also I was excited to see because we've never really seen him in a role like that. This was the first time I've seen him do something like that. I'd say he did pretty well though, but yeah.
I think so too. I think he did a very good job.
That voice was crazy though. That was insane.
That voice, I did whatever.
Sure.
Just the way he was just, okay, all right.
He sounded like Adam Sandler in The Hot Chick. You know, a lot of people don't know this.
Yes,
but,
that's exactly
you
what
can
it
put your
sounds-
weed in there.
You can put your weed in there.
Sure.
Just kind of, put his eye down just a little bit and just be like,
I'm sorry.
yes.
I didn't know anyone else can hear that.
Okay, mother. Yeah, no problem, mother. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Mother's not gonna
Why
lie.
does he talk like that? It's like, it's weird because now when you see Charlie Hunnam, you think to yourself, I know he doesn't sound like that. I've seen Sons of Anarchy. He's
Yeah.
manly man. And no, I mean, let's be real. We start off right off the bat with the man with his shirt off, just, trying to hang himself while he's giving himself a fucking hand job. Like, we knew we were in for something. We're like, oh, okay, there's Charlie Hunnam. Hello, sir. That's nasty. Mr. Malave, Ed Gein story. You heard about it. You got excited. Did you go, I don't know about this, or what were your feelings?
I definitely didn't try to hang myself and jerk off. That's not what I did. But let's just be honest. With Ed Gein, I knew the name. I knew the inspirations that he had with Hollywood and horror that we all love. But I also didn't really know much about him, right? And then about everything that he's done. So I was instantly intrigued. Like, you know what? I get to learn more, right? With the same thing with Dahmer, we knew a little bit more because it was more publicized. And it was like it happened a little like further in the time where media and everything else was like evolved, right? So
Yes.
with the Ed Gein story, I was like, you know what? I'm excited to see, how he played this inspiration. And then when Charlie Hunnam was attached to it, I'm a big Sons of Anarchy fan. And I was like, you know what? This guy doesn't really get a lot of like great roles in Hollywood since Sons of Anarchy. So I'm like, maybe this is his kind of like return. Maybe this is what can put him back onto like the map and maybe he'll get more from this. He did an amazing job, by the way, of transforming himself into this person, right? Like right off the bat, whether the lines on the paper did whatever they had to do, he did amazing, right? Right off the bat. To the point where even like Itzy didn't want to watch it because she's in love with him, right? From Sons of Anarchy. And she's like, I can't even watch him in this role because I don't even want to think of him that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of crazy. She peeped a couple of episodes here and she's like, no, absolutely not. This is fucked up. Right. So, but other than that, like, was I let down? A little bit because it wasn't, not expectations weren't so high for this show, but, it was just a lot of stuff going intertwined with everything. I found myself confused at one point, which I don't know if that was the point, in certain parts. And then I loved and hate when they kept going back to the movies that I knew back to the original story. So when I say I love, I hate, I know we're going to get into it. It's just right off the bat. It was just like, oh, I kind of love that. Kind of like Hitchcock is in here. No, I kind of don't like the fact that he was peeping into the dressing room. But no, I don't. Now I'm confused. Like, so it was just all over the place at that point. I loved the essence of it. The killings were great. And again, Charlie did a great job. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into everything else that I'm confused about. But right off the bat, with the jump of hype, knowing that Ed Gein was going to be the new one, and what we've got, that's pretty much how I felt.
That's fair. That's a fair way to put it. I mean, yeah, I look at it too. Especially being a Psycho fan that I truly am, you know, there was a lot of questions I had, and there was a lot of things that they lied about. And I'm not even going to say that they fabricated it. I'm going to say they fucking straight up lied. And as a fan, I didn't appreciate that. That actually really legitimately upset me, because when you are a fan of, we're all fans of certain pieces of horror or pop culture in general. If they were doing something involving Jaws and they decided they were going to make some bullshit up, as a huge fan and an all-time favorite movie, that would legitimately upset me. And I would not want to continue watching because of that, because I'm like, no, fuck you and everything that you're doing. So, and we'll speak on Psycho and Anthony Hopkins doing what he did, because that's not true. But yeah, in that case, Edie, I'm going to go to you, because you said that, you know, Charlie Hunnam, he's a hottie. He's a hottie with a body.
He's beautiful.
I have to agree. He's
not
a
in
very
this
beautiful
show.
man. He's a beautiful man, though.
No, but when he's blowing someone's head off in Sons of Anarchy, sexy.
Yeah.
Right, Edie?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Not when he's wearing his mother's.
Yeah.
Not when
Him
he's
and his
wearing someone's
lingerie,
face.
you know.
His
I mean,
lingerie.
his body looked great, but
Oh, great! I'm glad you said that, because I
now
have
I
to.
can't
I
get
have to
out
touch
of
on
his
this.
body.
Do you think that Ed Gein was, I don't know, packing himself a 6-pack? Anybody? No, didn't think.
I mean, he did farm work. He did farm work, maybe.
Dude, look, he was shredded. We know Charlie Hunnam's shredded. He did lose
I
it.
don't
He did
think
lose
so.
weight. You don't think Ed Gein was shredded
think
back down there?
I feel like he was like scrawny, but I could be wrong.
He had like the V cut going on where it comes to like the crotch area, like that. That's.
I don't think so.
Good.
I mean, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
You know, you could. I mean, listen, Ryan Murphy.
You wanna dig up his body?
We know what. Do I want
You
to
want to dig up his body and check?
We can. There's only one way to find out. We're gonna have to check the skeleton at this point. But we know Ryan Murphy. Listen, Ryan Murphy. He is a homosexual. It's very well known. He put it out there many times. So he loves to utilize the concept of homosexuality and get into. He has no fear when it comes to that, and that's not a bad thing. There's no problem with putting it out there and just being like, if you don't fucking like it, then too fucking bad. Don't watch it. He puts it out there. He makes it very clear. But I think he was like, listen, Charles, your body is fantastic, and I want you to lose some weight. But can you keep that pack going for me, brother?
Ryan Murphy uses men as Michael Bay uses women. Let's be clear.
Yes,
It's a good analogy.
that's a very good analogy.
That's a great. Let's just keep it simple. Like Ryan Murphy goes like, look at that cute little boy. Let's put him on some skimpy outfit.
Oh god.
now."
Oh no. Yeah.
That's exactly what Michael Bay does. Oh, look at that cute little girl. Let's put her in a little skimpy outfit and make her bend over.
And blow shit up behind her.
Same.
Yeah,
Right.
Ryan.
Making a fox from him, all right?
Yeah, we did. That's true. But yeah, Ryan Murphy, I'm sure it's fucked up, but I'm sure he loved seeing Charlie Hunnam the way he was in this movie. I was going to say movie. It felt like kind of like a movie at times in this series. So, okay, Edie, you loves yourself some Charlie Hunnam. You think he's a hot stud muffin. Did you feel any sympathy for Ed Gein throughout this entire series? Was there any moment you stopped and said, why am I feeling bad for a psychopath?
No, but they tried really hard to do that, and I know a lot of people did. Me personally, no. I can't. You know, everybody's like, well, he was mentally ill, and I'm like, look, guys, I'm mentally ill, and I'd still be an asshole if I went and killed someone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really. I do know that it was different back then too, though. So I kind of get that point that there wasn't much to be done about mental illness back then. But also, because a lot of people were like, well, his mother created him, and it might have not turned out this way had he had help. But I don't know who's to say who's to say that though too? Like, I don't know. He still could have done all that.
Sure.
And I don't know, when you're making like lamps out of skin and chairs and stuff, like, I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you.
Look,
They tried really hard though.
They did.
I have met a lot of people who grew up in like really strict religious homes, and either two things happen: they just keep on doing strict religious things, or they become an atheist and not or stop being religious.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, the I'm getting repressed religiously. This is what's going to happen. I am going to start skinning some people, and I'm going to make lamps of people's skins. Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet.
Mr. Malave, what about you?
So I mean, I kind of didn't feel bad. I know they tried to like make us feel so bad for him and everything else like that. I understand that medicine wasn't as far gone as it is right now. How, people plead insanity and they actually get rehabilitated or what have you. But yeah, I couldn't, it didn't work for me. Right. But speaking on what you were saying, Eddie, with like, people were in a religious home and then they just started to become like atheists and then they moved on and did their own little thing. He was kind of like isolated, and they mentioned it in the show as well too. The isolation factor is what it's like. He's alone with his thoughts. And if he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, so imagine he had a crowded ass home, but he was by himself with no one to tell him what the hell is real and what the hell is not. Right. So the only thing that I'm going to say about that is just like, that's probably the only thing I feel bad for, is the fact that he was isolated. And the minute he tried to grab somebody to to be with him and have companionship, they saw everything that he was doing and was like, no, you're psychotic. And then that's like a trigger. And like, he just decided to kill him. You know what I mean? Even though in real life, because this is the show now, and it showed that he killed so many people, he wasn't even classified as a serial killer because he only confessed to 2 of them. Right. So it was just like, all right, well, the isolation part of it kind of made me feel bad. But he was still just a crazy person that shouldn't have been allowed in society. And the quicker they would have found that out and did a little bit more investigation, then the quicker all of this stuff would have stopped. So yeah, I didn't feel bad.
What I was going to say is like, I agree, like 100%. Because what I was going to mention is, if there's only one scene that actually made me feel bad for him, everything else I said, like, I don't care what his background is or his mental illness is in general, he still did a lot of messed up things.
Yeah,
there's no way around it. But there's one scene where it actually it was like, oh man, I feel bad for him. What is wrong with me? Or not really, but it was when he was talking with the doctor and the doctor told him he has schizophrenia.
The way he explained it,
weeping like a baby.
Yeah.
Like finally realizing all my hurt, everything, because
all the confusion.
I just figured it out. I just now know why this is all happening. And I'm going to say, Charlie Hunnam did a great job, because he was crying like they just told him that all his children, his mother, his wife died. Like in the same... by fire, and then all his money is gone too. Like that was like, wow. Like he was crying, and I was like, okay, this is the one moment I was like, I feel bad for Ed Gein, and I think that if they would have played more on that side of it, on the mental illness of it, I think it would have worked a little bit better.
Okay, Edie.
I was gonna say, I guess I did feel a little bad at that scene, but also I feel like they were trying really, really hard right there to make you feel really bad. And like, I didn't feel like probably as bad as some people, but I did. That was kind of sad. Also, Charlie Hunnam looks so cute crying.
Even in the voice.
Come on, cry here.
With his eye down, Yeah, I have to agree too, though. I think if any scene made you feel something, it was that scene, because it was just the realization of, holy shit, this all really did happen. Because, you know, if you watch, he never, and if you go back to some of the tapes, because there's plenty of documentaries on it, he never actually admits to doing anything. What he says is, if that's what you found, then it is so. Because he really doesn't know. It is a schizophrenia. It's a split personality thing. So it's like that whole thing of, I mean, think about it. When he pulls up to the house and the cops are there, he's fucking confused. Like, oh, hey guys.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's happening.
Like, hey, what's going on? You know, because if he knew what, I mean, keep in mind, we know, like, he knows that there is a bowl and it's a skull. Like, he knows all that shit. But to him, it's just fucking normal. I didn't do anything wrong. I dug up a dead body. It's already fucking dead. But he didn't process that. It's just like, dude, your house is a fucking horror shop. Like, he's just, what you guys? And then when he's getting punched in the face, when he's getting fucking handcuffed and all this shit, he's confused of why. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Well, you know, and I didn't feel bad for him at that part, because in that part, I'm sitting there watching going like, yeah, get that motherfucker. Punch him in his fucking six pack.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck him. He thinks he's a gentleman. We'll punch him in his face. Like, you know, that's perfectly fine. I feel like the only reason that we felt so bad at that moment is because of just how Charlie Hunnam fucking did the job. He came to play. He knew his fucking role, and he took it to the limit. So props to that man. If he wins an Emmy for this, it's well-deserved. The show shouldn't win an Emmy, but if he won, that would be perfectly fine. I'd be perfectly okay with that. So I will say, at least all of us can agree that it is well acted.
Yes.
sure.
By him.
100%.
Well, by him.
By him. Who would you say is maybe you thought was going to be like really good when it came to their role and then kind of disappointed you?
So, I would say the other. There's only one other that didn't disappoint me. His mother, the actress who played his mother.
Oh, she's
really
great.
got
Yeah,
to-
Laura Metcalf.
Yeah, she's
phenomenal.
great.
Laura obviously phenomenal, right? But the girl who played what was it, Adeline Swift?
Adeline.
Suzanne
his
Son.
love interest. First of all, storyline, I hate it. We can talk about that soon. But her acting, like, I was watching it with my sister because it's her birthday weekend, so we were celebrating and we were watching it, and she was like, "This is Disney Channel level acting." Like, and I was like, I agree. It was not good acting. It was superficial. It was, I don't know if she was trying to play crazy and bitchy, and like she couldn't come across as both at the same time. So she just ended up becoming like Sharpay from High School Musical. And then you just like, what are you doing
Sharpay.
here? What are you doing here? You're in an Ed Gein story. And it looks like I'm segueing into some teenage drama from Lifetime. What are we doing?
Interesting choice. I have to agree, because at first I wasn't sure if she was a real person.
Me
Yeah.
too.
She is. She is real.
That's part of my dislike of the whole thing. They double played the Joker thing of like, oh, it's my girlfriend, but she's not really there. And I go like, okay, that's been played. Oh, she's real. Okay, that's different. But then you never solve her story.
No.
You waste almost, if you look at all the time that is wasted on a character who's actually not impacted Ed Gein's life at all. Like, they dated for like a bit. If you actually look at the real story of this person, they dated for like a year at most, maybe. And then according to her first claim, it's like 20 years. Then she went like, no, it's like a year. If we take all the scenes that he is with her, that is about 2 episodes worth of content.
Sure.
On an 8-episode show that you're trying to explore the cultural impact of Ed Gein. The fuck are you doing? Show?
Yeah, we even saw her in New York City. Like,
We did?
Like, and
With
then
Elliot
her
Gould.
freezing it, and then beating the hell out of the landlady or whatever. And it's just like, well, I mean, is she gonna be a psycho now? Like, we don't know what. But then it just stops. Like, and she's like, no. And it's just like, it was just kind of fucked up.
Because
And
that
then she
story is
shows up-
not real.
Right.
They
Right.
had nothing for it.
And then she shows up at the end. She goes like, I'm gonna kill all these people, and then Ed Gein goes like, no, you shouldn't kill anybody. It's really bad to kill all those people. You shouldn't go under revenge. Revenge is not good for you. Don't go killing. I don't want to do that to you. And that was her story. What in the hell? I'm sorry.
Very good. Very good. I actually do have a question to follow up on that. But Edie, what would you like to say on this?
Just that storyline, it angered me too because it wasn't real. I also understand why they added it just for because I feel like a lot of the show just would have been him like cross-dressing alone, if they didn't add it. But also, yeah, that wasn't, and then they made her like an accomplice, which was like, why? And there was never even any, I believe they probably did date, but there was actually never even any proof. And then, yeah, like you said, she came back and was like, oh, that didn't happen. Like, we were together. Like, that was weird. But also, I don't really get why they made it into this, like, just completely just fake story. Completely. Like, if I was her and I was alive, I'd be like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, I didn't do that. Like, I don't know.
She inspired him to fuck dead people.
She did. She inspired him to have sex
you
with
kidding me?
dead bodies. Which again, I do find that moment when they were about to finally do it, they're finally going to do it, and he was just like,
"You're too cold.
No way, you're too cold.
You're too warm."
Yeah, that's right. He was saying, he's like,
You're too warm.
You're too warm.
Yeah.
And you're like, ew, like ew. She had to go in the ice bath and shit. Nasty, very nasty. But to follow up on Big Money, what you mentioned when you said that she does show up later on when he's in the mental institution. There is a thing going around that's saying that she really wasn't there, that's all in his head. And I want to know, do you think that she was actually there?
So I think that this
Because
is
she looks young. She looks
yeah,
young.
She does. But then again, she does look young when she's supposed to be like about 50.
Well, that is true. Their ages, they don't look like they were supposed to look. She looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah, and then she looks in her 20s, and he looks like he's his late 30s at worst. And it's like, and that's at worst. Here's my issue with script writing. It's like, just because you say it was all in their head is not deep. That's not deep writing. That's not deep writing. Deep writing is not, it never happened. It was all in their head. It was all a dream. That's just lazy. That's lazy writing. It works sometimes, especially for certain things that you're trying to come up with, right? But like having a character like that for 2 episodes, which you are you purposefully make us think, is she real, not real, only to find out that she's real. And then at the end you go like, maybe she's not real. Why? Because you're saying that now because you couldn't own up to the fact that you did not write her a concluding end to your story. Like, come on. Like, to me, that's just a cop-out, and people trying to defend the show go like, it's all in her head. They're trying to be clever. No, they were bad at writing is what it was. And we're trying to justify the bad writing. Just going like, oh, he made her up. No, we already established that she's real. And then, well, now we got to go back and try to figure out how many times she's real or not. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that.
Very good.
Sorry.
No, very good. I like that. Edie, what about you? Real or not real? At the end, we know she's real, but that scene, the moment that they are sitting together, is she truly there, or is that just all in Ed's head?
To be honest, I didn't even think about that part that hard. So I just thought she was real, to be honest. Like, I didn't.
So you thought she was there?
I don't think I thought about it at all.
Because she didn't age.
Actually. Until you guys saying
she just
this.
had glasses. But
that is true. She did look really young. But I thought that was just bad, like, makeup. I don't know.
Sure, that's possible. Okay, that Mr. Malave.
But now that you guys are saying it, I am thinking about it, but I wasn't. Okay. That didn't even cross my mind as I was watching it, to be completely honest.
Okay, well, when you go back and watch it, think about it.
I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch it, but I might.
If you ever go back to that scene,
maybe just the last
10 minutes.
Yeah, I might just.
I understand. I would play Owner of a Lonely Heart all day too in that scene. I love that. Mr. Malave, how about you? Was she there? or was it all in his head?
All right. So this is what I came up with right now because like Edie, I kind of really didn't think too much into it, but I do remember watching it. And this was a couple maybe like an hour ago. I do remember watching that episode, and it's just like that part, and it was just like, all right, once they wheel him out, because the way it was shot, and you know me, I love to hit all these cinematography things, right? The way it was shot, and they take him in his wheelchair, you don't see her. Right. And I was just like, if they show the chair and she's not there, then she's not real right now. But if you see that they did show her, so I'm saying that she's real.
Okay.
I'm saying that she was real. I think everyone's saying that she's not real and everything else like that is just the way everyone else compartmentalized, wanting a conclusion for her. Right. And then the whole thing that she looked younger. Yeah. But also earlier in that episode, when she's talking to the media, right, she still looks young, but she's supposed to be 60 at this point. Right. Because he's not on trial or whatever else like that. And they're talking and she's talking or whatever. And even the parts when she's asking someone a question and is running away, I work for the Daily News. And then she's not all that shit. She still looks younger. And as Ed Gein is getting older and we see him just with white hair, you know what I mean? We don't see her getting older, right? So I just think that there's just oh, well, it's okay. We can, maybe small little freckles here and there or lines here and there. That's all we need. And then when we finally see the last time we see her, put some glasses on and talk a little slower. Maybe it sounds like you're older, right? So again, I just think that was poor directorial, direction from the director to this actress.
It's a lot of direction right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of direction, which he didn't get. He didn't give. And that's what I was getting at, So yeah, I think she was real. And just because, again, if you did it the right way and she wasn't real, then it's those subtle things with the camera that you can use when she's there and not there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So a good director can actually play that off really well, even if you're not putting too much makeup or dyeing the hair or whatnot. But I think that goes to what Eddie was actually saying of bad acting. If you can't act,
it's all,
if you're not putting your 2 feet forward on there, you're not able to. Charlie Hunnam was able to show a difference in age in his acting. Yes, there was makeup. Yes, he had they always have the brown spots in the head and all that. Obviously, his hair changed. He was slouchy more, wearing different clothing. But his acting, he felt like an older gentleman. Even though, let's be real, he still looked like, as Big Money said, he was 37. It was just 30. It was just Charlie Hunnam. Yeah. Where's his beard, I ask you now? But again, I think it's just mostly the acting. The acting just, it wasn't there. She wasn't on par. She could not keep up with him. That's for damn sure. Damn fucking sure. Okay, you know what? So again, this show, as we know, and we've mentioned, it's very heavily fabricated. There is a lot of lies. There is a lot of stretching the truth. Mr. Malave, what? 2 questions. Does that ruin the story for you? And what piece bothered you the most when it came to the fabrication and the lies?
Yeah, those are 2 great questions, which needs a lot of discussion for it. But so
everyone gets involved in this one.
Yeah. So okay, repeat them again. Right?
Okay, now I have to remember how I said it.
Yeah, you did. You don't.
So I need you to tell me, number one, again, the show is heavily fabricated. Okay, a lot of lies. Okay, they stretch the truth a little too much, as Ed Gein would stretch the skin so that it fits over the lamp.
Yes, of course.
2 questions for you. Number 1, does that ruin the story for you? And number 2, which heavily fabricated moment bothered you, where you were almost like how I was? I think I'm done. I'm going to turn this off. Do not insult my intelligence.
Right. Got you. So in general, right, when we watching these these movies, these shows about things that happen in real life or inspired by things in real life, right, we are not always going to just get a play-by-play kind of like a documentary with all of this stuff, right? Because it is a show, right? It has to be entertaining, and not a lot of the subtext in real life that happen is entertaining, right? So I'm okay with them fabricating the truth at times, right, to make me entertained, right? What I don't like is, again, like when I mentioned in my cold opening or whatever, like, how I love how they adapted like Albert Hitchcock's Psycho, and they showed bits and pieces of them filming it. I thought that was really clever, and it kept me entertained, right? However, whatever was stretched from the truth, or what was inspired from what, or whatever else may have you, the thing that pissed me off the most, that I was almost like, I'm done, was when they kept going back and forth with the chainsaw and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he's flaring the damn chainsaw around like we seen in the movie. And then he's doing that in the show, and you're like, yes, bro, we get when you concluded the last episode that this was the inspiration to Texas Chainsaw. You didn't have to give me fucking Charlie Hunnam dancing around in the graveyard after he killed these people the same way that the Leatherface did, because you know what? It wasn't inspired from it, right? They don't have him on video doing it, and then they did it in the movie. Like, you didn't have that. Right. And that pissed me the hell off, because I'm like, I get the inspiration and I get what you're trying to do, but don't force feed it down my throat. It's just, you're insulting my intelligence at this point. Right. I say it all the time on this show. We look at movies, we look at shows in a different light, and this is why we talk about it. Right. But I feel like even the regular viewer watching this right now, you're like, get the fuck out of here. That didn't happen. That didn't really happen. I want to see the video. They probably went on their phone and Googled Ed Gein dancing with a chainsaw, and they didn't get it, right?
Probably.
And they didn't get it, which almost took me out. And it took me a couple of days for me to get back into this damn show because of that shit. Because that's how we ended an episode. And I was like, nope, that's it. I'm going to take a bigger break now because this fucked me up.
Hell yeah.
That was great.
That
sir.
was fantastic. I love the energy. That was great. I love the energy that you had there. You can see that you were legitimately upset about this. You are a fan of Texas Chainsaw.
Big fan.
Big fan.
I had the Leatherface shirt on the other day.
That's what I'm saying. So that to you became an insult to your intelligence, to your fandom.
Yep.
Now, let me talk, because
Go right ahead,
I
buddy.
am a big Psycho fan. And you can ask Jen. When Alfred Hitchcock, or as Mr. Malave said, Albert Hitchcock, when he decided to choose Anthony Perkins,
You were just waiting for that one.
I was. You said it. I was hoping no one else would have caught that. When he chose Anthony Perkins and he brings him into the Ed Gein house, which this never happened. They didn't make Ed Gein's house, and he shows him the vaginas, and he's like, "Who's that? It was vaginas, or whatever fuck he wants to put it in his own sense." Vulvas. Thank you. But here's my problem. He says in the show, I was going to call it a movie again. He says in the show that he chose Anthony Perkins because he has a dark secret. Oh, go fuck yourself. That is not even close to being true. Anthony Perkins was chosen because he has that boy-like complexion. Anthony Perkins at that point was very young. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's trustworthy. And you need to have where the audience could actually feel bad for him. That's why he was picked. Not only is he a good actor, because he was well known at that part, Broadway especially, but he just came. He was nominated for an Academy Award before he got Psycho. So he was known. And again, the one thing a lot of and I hate why this bothers me, because you have viewers that don't know this. And now they're watching this thinking that's fucking true. And it's such an insult to Anthony Perkins and his legacy of Norman Bates. Such a fucking insult, because it's not fucking true. That's not what happened. He was given the role because, one, he fucking earned it, and two, Alfred Hitchcock's vision of Norman Bates is not the same as the book. I have read the book. He is a way different fucking character. He's overweight. He's in his mid-40s. He's balding. He's fucking just a sick fuck. Norman Bates, when you see what's going on, you actually feel bad for him because it's like, damn, this kid is at first, you don't even know that's him. No. You have no fucking clue it's him.
No clue.
No clue. So it's played off so fucking well. So when they fucking said that, again, you can ask Jen. I paused it and I said, fuck you. No, that is an insult to my fandom, to a movie that I fucking loved since I was a child. And you know what happens when you piss me the fuck off and you insult fucking Psycho and you insult fucking Anthony fucking Hopkins?
Oh, no.
I was going to call him Anthony Hopkins because I'm that fucking mad. Who played Alfred Hitchcock, by the way, in the movie Hitchcock?
Don't talk shit about Anthony Hopkins.
I love Anthony Hopkins, but you don't also disrespect the legend and the legacy of Anthony Perkins, Ryan Murphy, you motherfucker. You are now do it.
You just made the list. You just made the list. You just made the list. The movie therapist. You just made the list.
Ryan Murphy, welcome to the list, sir. You have made my list because you disrespected the legacy, the fucking story of Anthony fucking Perkins, you piece of shit. Fuck you, sir. Fuck you for doing that. You don't understand. I was so upset about that because a lot of people may not know this. Anthony Perkins went through a lot of shit in his life. And yes, he was a homosexual. I mean, there was a lot of shit that he had to go to. They forced him to go to therapy to be straight. Like, there was a lot of bad shit that happened that went on with his life. They literally said, you have a dark secret. His dark secret was he was gay.
That's it.
How fucked up really? You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit for that, and you deserve to be on the list. Ryan Murphy, if I ever fucking see you, I hope I meet Osgood Perkins, who is Anthony Perkins' son. I want to ask him what he thought about that. If anybody needs to fucking give an answer, it should be his fucking son. Because, again, there is a curse when it comes to the movie Psycho. Anthony Perkins became typecasted, which it's fucked up, but it is the role was that iconic. And I don't know if you guys know this, but his wife, she was in one
9/11.
of the... Yeah. She was on one of the planes that hit the towers.
Crazy.
So cross your fingers for Osgood and Elvis and hope for the best for their rest of their life. But yeah, that's how that made me feel. Now, I got that out. I did exercise the demons.
You exercised them.
Edie, I'm going to you next. It's your turn. Let's hear about it. Go ahead.
Oh,
She's
are we
shocked.
related to that or in general?
No, I want you to tell me, even though the show is heavily fabricated, does that ruin it for you? And a specific scene or moment that really irked you and bothered you,
Oh, I have
where
some.
you put them on the list.
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah.
So it didn't ruin it for me, but it definitely just made me mad because it was still entertaining. I still wanted to keep watching, even though I was half the shit didn't happen, half of this isn't true. It was still an entertaining show. I think we could probably all agree on that. It was still entertaining to watch. But one of the biggest things that just was irritating to me was Ed Gein was not solving crime. He wasn't sitting there solving crimes when they had him solving the Ted Bundy thing and help catch him or whatever that was. And then
people are gonna think that's real.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason it makes me so mad is because a lot of people don't actually fact check stuff, or they just didn't know stuff about the story to begin with, and then they watch these shows and they think, oh wow, this is what happened, when it's not even relevant, didn't happen. Also the whole Richard Speck thing, why was that even in the show? I personally don't understand at all why that even existed. What was the sex scene? What was that? What was all that?
Ryan Murphy.
What the fuck was that genuinely?
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy.
I don't know.
And I know I
so
already
weird.
said this once and maybe people won't like it, but I said there was some stuff in the show that I feel like Brian Murphy just wanted to jerk off for a second and was like, I'm gonna put this in because like that's just what it felt like in certain scenes.
I agree with you. I agree. Come on, you got to think. He told Charlie Hunnam, all right, listen, bud, I need you to take your pants off, all right? Stay in your underwear. I want you to put this belt around your neck, right? And Charlie Hunnam's like, Ed Gein did this? Oh, of course he did it. Of course. He was a psycho. Just do it.
You didn't read the subtext?
Come on, you didn't watch the movies that we...
It's in the pamphlet. It's in the pamphlet.
It's in the pamphlet. He's looking at it going, it doesn't say it here. No, you go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. All right, now stick your head in your pants. He did this? Yes.
Cut. We have to do it again.
All the psychos do this. They jerk off while trying to kill themselves. Just go for it, buddy. And I can see that too.
Cut. We have to go back to one. You have to do it again.
It's like, oh, this guy let's put tits on him. Okay?
Yeah.
And now what?
Yeah.
Let's let him get fucked.
And I wanted them titties bouncing like if it was.
He set the camera up that way. He's like, we'll go.
I know. I was like,
Watch the titties.
I just genuinely want to know, like, what was the thought process in even adding that, in all honesty. Like,
There was no reason for it.
There was no reason. To be honest, like, I don't know about anyone else, but I didn't even think that was that entertaining. So I was like, some of the other stuff, I was like, okay, that made for some entertainment. Like, that was just, what? Like, what's going on? And I'm not even, like, hating that hard on Ryan Murphy, because, like, I do like some of his work. I just was like, this is not relevant. There was so much stuff going on that just wasn't... Sorry, go ahead.
No, because I wanted to add something that you mentioned, because picking off of something that Tommy mentioned, crossing it with what you mentioned, is like, for example, the Anthony Perkins story, like him being gay is a very sad story. Not the part being gay, like him, how he was treated because he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Super sad stuff.
Yes.
Super sad stuff. And what you realize is that that's in itself a whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And you just rammed it into our throats and never concluded it. You just gave a little bit there so we would know about it, but there's so much subtext and everything that is in that story that you just threw away. And I feel like this is the same way with Richard Speck and his fake bouncing titties. Like it's like this is no, and it sounds ridiculous, but it's in the same category because you're just introducing it because, okay, there are gay characters. This is an interesting story. I want to know more about Richard Speck on another show. I want to know about the tragedy of Anthony Perkins' life on another show or movie. I don't need to know about them here.
Right.
I really don't. I don't need to know about them.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that he put that in there to kind of like allude to maybe other monster shows that he would pick at?
It has nothing to do with anything, though.
It has nothing to do with it. I'm just,
like spin-off,
just playing
like
devil advocates right now.
The Monster Universe.
Like, just like Monster. Now this is this story. Now.
Monsters, bouncy titties.
Well,
we're gonna see a lot of fucking in this one.
Oh no, I'm all right.
It is the second scariest image in this whole thing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
definitely true.
But you know what? I'll conclude with your question too, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I have my biggest issues. Both of you touched so beautifully on pop culture. I'm not going to touch on pop culture. I'm going to continue on with what Edie said, because I actually think that's like the part that's missing in terms of like everything that we've criticized. They did the impact of Ed Gein all wrong, right? They should have kept a simple look. You could have done 2 to 3 episodes on just what Ed Gein did from beginning to end. I would have actually even started with the police arriving and swooping into his house and him arriving all confused and then getting punched and he's saying, what did I do? What did I do? That sets you up perfectly for that conclusion of when he gets from that part to the part where he gets diagnosed with schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. That's a perfect story. Like, I'm not saying like to tell. I'm not saying that it was done, but that's a perfect story to tell. And then after that, you turn into the news. It devolves. You no longer see what Ed Gein is doing. You can even have shots of him in the mental asylum, but focus on the news, and the news spreads of what he did. And then you start seeing different things. You start seeing the bubble mass, which is what we were talking about, American made. You keep seeing it grow and blossom, and you see cults develop, and you see people start doing horrific things. And what is the question? What is the guiding question of this? Every story has a guiding question, right? Every story has a guiding question. Like The Godfather. Like The Godfather is the story of it's family. Like how does family
That's Fast and
heritage
the
work?
Furious.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
That's
But,
also
like, how does
that's also sorry.
family heritage work? Like, how do you handle a family business? Yes, that's also Fast and Furious. And you realize, but it's telling it in a mafia story. Yes, because the mafia is the set of the story. The question of the story is, how does family work? How does an abusive family work? How does family legacy work? All of that. But it's set in the mafia, but it's not telling a mafia story. It's telling a family story.
Mm-hmm.
What is this story talking about? Technically, the Ed Gein story is the modern American story. Pop culture, obsession, cults, obsession with sex, obsession with gore, obsession with violence. You might agree or disagree with it, but it is the story. Okay, so you're saying that's the story. Why didn't we focus on that? It's so low all over the place that I think you missed the mark. And then by adding, you actually also took away from the reality of it, like the real impact of Ed Gein, the real danger of obsessing with things like that.
Very good. Very good. Edie.
I also just wanted to say there was something you said, but it reminded me. The way they also portrayed Ed Gein to be this like sex fiend when I don't even think he was having sex at all was, I mean, maybe he did. We can't really say. But I feel like they were making it like that was like he was just constantly like fucking, when I don't even think that was the case. Everybody that knew him said he was like quiet and barely even talked to people and was weird and didn't have any social skills. So I highly doubt he was like getting people into bed as often as he did.
It's probably because it was Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like they were doing it because of that.
Yes.
And like, I'm not saying, I mean, I don't know, maybe he did, but like the one lady, what was her name?
Beatrice.
Bernice
Bernice
Warden, I think it is. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the hardware store lady.
Yeah.
Yes. And like that whole storyline was also like part of it was there, but there was also never any proof that they actually did anything either. And I was just very also like, why? But I mean, I guess they were just trying to entertain, but I don't know. That
think
irritated me
They
too.
just
They were
wanted
trying
to
make
show
it-
you Charlie's butt.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was going to say. I was like, well, they showed a Hunnam butt. And
They're like, all right, in Sons of Anarchy, he showed his butt a lot. We have to do the same thing.
Yeah, but that was so different.
Yeah, because it was.
Because what he was doing here was not hot. Nipple
I don't
chairs
know.
and lamps and
It's possible you might have liked a little bit of it. Again, he was shredded. Ed Gein shredded. Okay, it doesn't.
I mean, I
make
liked
any
his
sense.
body.
We're not saying that you agree with him doing like all the horrific things. We're saying that when he stripped down, you were like, yes, and then he
Yeah.
put on the, and then
Yeah.
he put on the, and then
What
he put on
woman?
the,
What woman or gay guy saw that and was like, I mean,
And he put the mask
Who-
on.
and then he
wouldn't.
put. And then he put on the weird clothing, and you were like, "No, but
Yeah,
it's
kinda.
okay." But before that, you were like, "Oh yes."
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah.
and then the owner of a lonely heart clicks. So
Oh, by the way, Tommy, I checked and it's not.
It's
on the
not
top
on
100
still.
Billboard.
Wow,
I'm sorry,
goddamn
I'm sorry.
bad people out there.
I literally
Give
went
yes
through the
their
whole
fucking
100
moment.
list.
Listen, they have been, that song did reach number 1 in 1984, but Regardless, put it back on the list. It deserves to be on there. Wow, that's funny. But yes, I can see Edie doing that, right? I can see her watching. And then when Ed Gein puts on the bra and panties, she's like, I'm okay with this. It's weird, but it's kind of working for me.
Okay. When he had the green lingerie, I was like, okay, you still kind of look good.
Right?
But also,
You were like, I'll spank you, fine.
But
It's fine.
I mean-
go for it. It's okay. I'll be your Sons of Anarchy. Don't worry about it. It wasn't until that the skin mask went on when you were like,
All right, I'm out.
I've decided this isn't going to work for me anymore,
Yeah.
Mr. Hunnam.
You know what?
mask.
Completely dry now.
it was the mask. That's what did it for me.
Yeah, I can understand
She
that.
was in the tub in the ice water. She's like, I'm
Ready to
going.
go?
I'm going with it. It's fine.
This is
And then
That's a bit extreme.
Mask, and then the leather mask shows up, and then she was like, "Nope,
Nope. That gets right out. This
Nope.
is stupid shit.
we ain't fucking doing this shit. I'm
going-
good.
I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, never mind.
Yeah, that would
You were like,
ruin.
Hunter's a little bit strange."
Yeah, that would ruin many special nights finding that information
They
out,
would still be
especially.
special.
Say the list.
Oh, it
Special
would
for
be
your
special,
psychologist.
but it's not the special. It's not a special delivery you're looking for. Oof, that's gross. Okay, let's get away from Charlie Hunnam in lingerie, which everybody is agreeing he could pull it off. It's the mask that we don't want to see and the fake boobs and whatnot. That's nasty. But again, there are three. I'm counting them up right now. There are three horror icons. I'm going to put them in the term of icons that they are utilizing as inspiration from Ed Gein. That's Norman Bates, that is Leatherface, and that is Buffalo Bill. Because as we know, he would fuck himself, but would you fuck him? My question going to Big Money is, which of those three characters do you truly believe embodies Ed Gein? Real life Ed Gein. This is a legitimate question. Real life Ed Gein. Which one truly shows the inspiration from the man? Because they're all different.
I think Buffalo Bill. That's
Buffalo Bill.
That's just to me it's Buffalo Bill, because what I see happening with Psycho, Norman Bates and Leatherface, what I see with them is, they heard stories and clippings and then were like, oh, wouldn't this be interesting? It's like when Wes Craven came up with Freddy Krueger. He didn't actually see a news clipping of somebody actually called Freddy Krueger killing people. He came up with the story based on a story about a child molester who got killed or something to that effect, and then somebody also who died in their sleep claiming about a boogeyman. He mixed the two stories together and came up with Freddy Krueger. Now, is Freddy Krueger real? No. But it's like Norman Bates, yes, there are some things. You see Leatherface, yes, there are some things. But I see Buffalo Bill fitting more neatly into some of those categories. Some, not all.
Mm-hmm.
That's just for me, I think.
Okay. Edie, what about you?
I agree with Eddie. I also think that a lot of the things they were having him do in the show were more related to Psycho and Norman Bates and less related to Ed Gein. So I would have to say the same as what you just said.
So you're going Buffalo Bill.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they all tie in, obviously, but that makes the most sense, I guess.
Sure. I actually agree. That's what I would pick.
Yeah.
I would pick Buffalo Bill. Mr. Malave, who would you pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that gets a second round all around here because I agree with you, all of you. Buffalo Bill is the most closest inspiration. Also because Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lamb was a person who kidnapped people, made them put lotion on and everything else, and then kind of wore their skin and then cross-dressed and everything else like that. That's more similar to what Ed Gein was doing. Again, you heard my rant with Leatherface and all that jazz. He uses a chainsaw a couple of times to cut some bodies, and now, boom, now he's Leatherface. And then Psycho, the only thing relevant was the weird relationship with his mother. You know what I mean? So I think the most relative would be Buffalo Bill. And Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. and speaking of that, since we're talking about like with these three, that ending, let's go to and I'm not talking about Owner of a Lonely Heart. We'll get there. I'm talking about the ending in the graveyard. I'm talking about when we get a chance to see those three characters. Okay. And I'll start in that case. The Norman Bates moment, I liked it. I really liked it. I liked the guy that played him. I don't remember his name offhand, but
I got you.
He fucking looked like him.
Polari.
Joey Polari. He
Yep.
fucking looked just like him. I wish what they would have done. What they didn't do it, but I wish. And the way they had it set up, I actually thought they were doing it because of with the moonlight and whatnot. If he was in black and white, would have like he was, because as he gets closer, you can see he's not. But like, if the whole time he wasn't, oh my God, that would have been so fucking. Now, to me, that's how you pay homage to a character. Like that moment of the kid
subtle.
seeing him, and he's just, and he gives the wave, and you're like, I liked that. So I really enjoyed that specific moment. Mr. Malabe, what did you think about that moment where the kid now sees these three characters, the inspiration?
I thought that was very clever. I thought that was kind of all we really needed as far as the back and forth with the inspiration for these movies. We get those subtleties at the end, because we're all like, think about those horror movies. People were traumatized with Psycho, traumatized with Texas Chainsaw, and then Silence of the Lamb was a fucking iconic with Buffalo Bill because he was like a relative character that can be in your backyard, right? So everyone's already in America scared of those people. So I feel like that ending scene was probably all we really needed instead of all that runtime with Hitchcock and with Texas Chainsaw and all that. We get those little scenes at the end, and that's all we needed. So I thought that was well done and also well put towards the end, because now we flash forward. He's dead. Ed Gein's dead, I'm saying. And now everything that he's inspired is coming back to haunt you. That means he's living in infamy. He's living forever in these movies.
Big Money, what about you?
So I didn't love it. I don't like it. Here's how I would have ended.
Let's hear it.
You see that, that scene. So I would have played without doing too much. I would have done that scene where Hitchcock is doing Psycho and everything like that. Talks a little bit with like the author and whatnot. You get a recap of what happened in Ed Gein's life. Move on, shoot, do a little couple of iconic scenes from Psycho and things like that. Fine if you want to do it. I don't care. But move on to the crucial scene, the most important scenes, which are two. The scene where he's talking in the movie studios and they don't want to do any of his film projects. They want to do more Psycho. And then when he goes into the movie theater and watches the gore fest, sex crazed horror movie that everybody's just like going bananas over, he goes like, "You're right. I did change for them, but they've unleashed something," right? Cut to that. And start cutting into a bunch of iconic images from a bunch of slasher movies and a bunch of horror movies, intersplice it with a bunch of newspaper clippings of a bunch of serial killers and things like that, and newsreels of serial killers. Keep intersplicing. Throw the monologue at the end from Psycho with Anthony Perkins saying, like, "We all go crazy sometimes." Cut to Ed Gein as Charlie Hunnam smiling at the camera like Norman Bates. Switch it at the end to Ed Gein in real life. Fade to black.
Very nice.
Ooh. That's nice. I like
That's
that.
how I would have done.
That was pretty good. I like that. I really like that. I like that a lot. Damn.
Because that's what happened.
I have to follow up though. I have to follow up with a very important question. When the credits roll, is it Owner of a Lonely Heart by?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Awesome. I love it. I love that. Edie, what about you?
only right.
How do you feel about that scene with the three of them?
I kind of agree with both points, actually. I think some of it, like, we didn't have to go that deep into the stories, and that would have been enough. But I also like your little alternate ending there as well, because I don't know, I just feel like maybe they went into the story so hard because they were trying to tell a different story that to make people entertained, but it wasn't actually true. So I think that would have been enough as well. I do agree, but I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I liked it. I just, yeah, I don't know. They're both great points.
Well, I'm sure they could appreciate that.
Yeah.
You should appreciate that. All right, so we are slowly coming to the end here, but we got a couple of more questions we got to touch on. One major question, and Edie, I'm going to start with you on this one. It's very important, especially in the world that we currently live in. We are a horror show. We loves the horror. Okay, horror is in our blood. But my question to you is: do you think horror or the horror community, do we owe something to these monsters like Ed Gein? Do we owe something to them? Without them, would we be who we are? Would we see what we see? Would we be as a big fan? That's what I got to ask.
You know, in a way, I do think we do owe them something because, I mean, my two most favorite movies. I mean, obviously, I talk about Silence of the Lambs all the time. People who follow me know that I never shut up about Silence of the Lambs. So, I literally never shut up about it. So, and Psycho, those are two of my most favorite movies. I also love Texas Chainsaw, not quite as much as those movies, but I do love it. So yeah, in a way, I suppose we do. I also do see why a lot of people in the horror community don't resonate as much with wanting to get into the whole like true crime aspect, as opposed to, like, for me personally, I like fiction more, obviously. So I see why people in the horror community don't necessarily want to go as far as to get into the true crime as well, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, because, and a lot of people don't even like to touch on the real stuff because it actually happened. But yeah, I would say we do owe some of these characters in these movies to Ed Gein.
Yeah. It's insane to think, and like, you know, and if you watch my TikToks for the Night School Horror page, or even as you listen to the episodes, I always say realism in horror movies make them better. They make them scarier. But I'm also a big fan of wild and crazy shit too. So it's like, I'm kind of in that middle too, where I want the truth, but I don't want all the truth. It's more when it becomes more insulting. When you start insulting my intelligence, when you start insulting like history, then all right, now you're just being a dick and you're just doing it for entertainment purposes. No, because you're claiming this is called the Ed Gein story. So in that case, it needs to be the story of Ed Gein. That's how I looked at it. So yeah, I feel that we do owe, and I'm talking about not just Gein, all these fuckers.
Everybody. Yeah.
They're all sick fucks in this world. But yes, they've played factors. They have played factors in inspiration to movies, inspiration to music. There is always something from them. So yes, I have to agree with you. I do believe that we owe maybe a tip of the cap, but I don't want to also give that appreciation too of being like, hey, good job, bud. Thank God for you. No, because we don't know what life would have been. But I think because of the way it was presented to us, the way these movies presented it and went on with it and got more creative with it, maybe that is because of these monsters, of what Gein did. Edie.
I want to say we owe it, but we don't necessarily need to romanticize it as much as the shows and the movies do.
That's a fair point.
That's, yeah, I just wanted to add that.
That's great. That's a fair point. Big money.
I think, picking off of what both of you have, stated very eloquently. So I'm just going to add like two, three things that I wanted to say. One, and you'd be surprised at how much real life impacts like horror. And you go like, well, we're talking Ed Gein and everything we know, but you know what's one of my favorite horror icons? Dracula. Guess what? Also based on a real life dude. But here's where I think, and I think you both landed it beautifully. it sometimes the key about horror and the best horror explores the darkest parts of human life and the human psyche, and it doesn't celebrate it. It just shows you this is what we are and this is how we can confront it. Horror stories are made for us to be able to confront our darkness, our shadows, and that's the best horror, right? So thankfully, we have stories like these that can serve as cautionary tales against how we can combat these dark versions of ourselves, like the serial killers, the mass murderers, the rapists, all of that. How can we confront it? Well, thankfully, we've seen it happen and play in real life, and we can build horror stories, which horror stories at the end of the day are moral stories, the best of them anyway, of how we can fight that inner darkness and combat it positively. And I think that is the biggest legacy that these evil people have. Not so much. It's like, for example, like what is a positive legacy that those dictators, like like Stalin or Hitler, like you would say nothing. Oh, but we do know who we should not let in power, what ideas we shouldn't let in power, and things like that. So the positive is it's a negative example for us not to follow. And the same thing goes for this. Like these serial killers are negative examples, and that's always important too in all societies. We need negative examples to go like, yeah, don't follow there. You see somebody doing things that look like a little bit too Ed Gein, guess what? Gotta keep a close eye on that guy because that guy might be dressing up with his mama in the basement. So,
That's a great point. That's a really good point, man. I really appreciate it. Mr. Malave, I'm going to let you go in 1 second. I just want to say one little thing just to bounce off of that, because I agree. It's almost in a sense of like, and only two of us are parents, so me and Big Money can understand this at least, where you see the child wants to touch the lamp. It's hot, and you don't do that. And then they touch it, and ow, and you go, bet you won't do that again. It's that you have to learn, right? Sometimes you got to, as our parents, I'm sure all of our parents have said this, you need to learn the hard way. And sometimes that's how you have to learn the history. Mr. Malave.
Now, well said, Big Money, and yeah, definitely a good piggyback, Tommy, from that as well too. The only thing I'm gonna say, because you've all hit up on all these points. The question was, do you give them a little tip of the cap? And for me, we live in the world where it's art imitating life, life imitating art, right? And that's where we get all the inspiration from, right? But bad things happen every day. Right. And good things are sprinkled up in there. Right. So we learn from that, and people take inspiration from that and everything else around us. Right. The fact that these movies were created because of the inspiration, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, that's what we're like, OK, good thing. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us different from any other species, right? We have that little thing that can inspire us. I can look at this color right on my couch and be like, hey, I just got inspired to do something, right? How big or small that influence had on you, right? So am I going to tip my cap to psycho killers or like people who are demented? No, I'm not going to tip my cap to them. I'm going to tip my cap to the directors and the writers who have heard that story and got inspired to make something that we love, right? As gruesome as they might be, as good as bad as it might have been, but they took an inspiration from something that happened in life. The same thing as me as a creator, take an inspiration from that, and then make it something, right? Ed Gein didn't give us Leatherface, no matter how much they try to tell us in this show, right? No. The director, the writer did, right? They gave us Leatherface. They put them in Texas. They put a whole family around them to be psychotic. And they put that iconic slasher with that chainsaw on his head. Just because they saw a newspaper clipping or a news segment on this guy using a chainsaw to kill somebody and got inspired from it. Right. So, no, I'm not tipping my cap to Ed Gein or to the Dahmers of the world. No, I'm tipping my cap to the directors and the writers and the people who brought these movies to our screens and made us love what we love.
Bravo, Mr. Malave. You have been on a roll, sir.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It's just what I do,
My
baby.
man is nailing this shit. Dude, we got to keep you when it comes to these true fucking crime shit. My guy knows his shit. Very good. I like that, man. That well said, and that's a perfect way to end that. I'm not even touching it. There's no reason to. You fucking nailed it. That was great. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Okay, so we are slowly coming to that end. So I have one more question to ask, and then we have two things to discuss. My last question, and you guys knew this was coming because I got to talk about it. We're going to talk about Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. And wow, what a moment, huh? Ed Gein is on his stairway to hell in a sense, because it ain't a stairway to heaven. They make it very clear that the one of them said that they hope they rot in hell with him, so he's going to hell. But the song choice, okay, Mr. Malava, you are the music man, so I got to start with you. I know you know the song. I know you think it's a good song. May not be the top favorite of all time, but you do like the song.
Yes.
What did it make you feel? Did it make you, what the fuck? Did it make you go, this fits? How did it make you feel, the song?
All right, so I love the song, and then it just the title itself, with the lonely heart. He is by himself. I said it before. He's an isolated person, and even when he's in the hospital and he's dying of cancer and everything else, he's still by himself, right? So the lonely heart thing works, right? And then also we get it because it's the 80s, right? So the 80s, and then he's watching MTV, right? So then at that point, when I first heard the song, and then he's delusional now, but he's also losing it, right? It's almost to the point where it's like you start having fun and you start getting a little bit more happy when you're almost at that deathbed. When you're about to see whoever you're seeing or go to wherever you're going, right? You get that sense of euphoria. So when that scene happened, and you saw him snipping clippings of other psychotic people, other serial killers, other murders. So he's known of them. He starts reading those letters that he's never wanted to read. So he's like kind of checking off his weird psychotic bucket list. And then he drifts off to this euphoria, his euphoria, and it's all of those people's. And then the song is just fitting because he's probably fell asleep watching MTV and he's listening to that song in the background. And you're like, yeah, it fits and it works, right? It was almost like this show was so heavy and there was few moments where you kind of chuckled. And in that part, you're like, yeah, we're reaching the climax. And at this point, he's losing it more than he's ever lost it before in the show. Let's have some fun with it, So I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. And the song is just a good jam. I wanted to slap the bass to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you could slap the bass to that song for sure. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But you are correct. He was watching MTV and the music video did start to play. So that makes sense why it was playing. It's just the dance number, man. They were hitting
it was like a weird. It was like a weird Soul Train.
It was the soul. Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Weird is an understatement.
It was the Soul Train of the Soul Train and the Titanic ending, as Big Bunny put. This is what it was. It was so fucking weird.
It's bad,
but it's a good song. Big Money. Go ahead.
His mother was waiting for him in the stairs.
She did the Leo. She did the Leo.
Waiting for Kate Winslet. In the Heaven and Titanic. You were half expecting to him to go up and go like, Mommy, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy. And then they kiss. And I'm talking like Leo and Kate kiss at the end of Titanic. God. That was what that segment was building up to. Like, what in the world is going on here?
It was just weird.
No.
It was weird.
No, first of all, you're seeing like this parade to hell, and you're seeing like all these horrible people, not just like random nurses. Like the nurses are hot and everything. Okay, great. Then, Edie got a little bit of Charlie Hood on. I at least got some of these nurses because every time you saw a nice female bod
get out
in this show, all of a sudden, what you would get. Just like decapitation of that woman, and you go like, "Oh, I'm not enjoying this anymore."
And then you got Charlie wearing them,
and then you go like, "No!" But the nurses, then you go, "Oh, this is hot," and then all of a sudden you start seeing like these like
you see man titties.
You see you see Manson showing up, going like, "We're going to hell," and you go like, "What is going on?" And he's still going on the little soul train. He also looks like Thor in Thor Ragnarok as he's in his seat, just moving around as he's going to try to see getting his haircut with the Grand Master, and it's just like it's like the people with the highest kill count in the history of America in the last 60 years is just there having a blast. And then we reach the stairs, and up the stairs is his mama looking sexy, not looking like a mother, not like a mother. She's looking like she's ready to get it on with her boy, because she's looking like, all like enchanting, and what, I don't know.
It's making him feel weird. Leave him alone. Just leave
You
him
said
alone.
enchanting.
Oh,
Go to someone else.
that's so funny. I never thought of Roseanne's sister as enchanting, but you have a point there. Sheldon's mom is enchanting. Or Billy's mom from Scream
Billy's
2.
mom from Scream 2.
From Scream 2 is enchanting. Hilarious. That was, oh my God. That was, now I'm never going to forget that. But does the song fit?
No.
The song does fit though.
Song doesn't fit. I think it would have been better if it was The Doors, like People Are Strange or some shit like that.
Like People Are Strange, or if he's just like, if it would have ended an episode like him just pouring out and looking and cutting his little steak or something like that.
It should have been Highway to Hell.
This is really nice. This is a really nice little steak. And then he's just like, oh, of a lonely heart. But he's just having a little nice good time because he's in his peace.
Yeah.
Medicated, relaxed. Okay, great. That works. They go like, oh, now I'm jamming to this. I can't jam to this like really, really fucked up situation.
I wasn't jamming. I was just like, this is a good song.
Oh, I jammed a little bit, but I was like with a weird face going, this is weird. But I'm like, I also really like this song. I just played the song after it was done. And then I went back and was like, this is so fucking strange. Oh, that's great. Edie, you're up. You're the last one. Let's see it. Let's hear it. Owner of a Lonely Heart doesn't fit. How did you feel during that weird scene? And would you want to be in that wheelchair?
To answer the last question, no.
Okay.
Also, I feel like it kind of fits because I mean he was a lonely man, so kind of, but yeah, that scene was definitely really, really strange, and I was laughing like with the dancing. I was cracking up the whole time actually, but weird, yes. Iconic, yes. So I mean,
Iconic.
I thought it was iconic because
Iconic.
yeah, because what was that? It was so fucking weird. I think it was kind of iconic.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, you're talking about it. You're.
Well, no, hold on. I'm talking about it because I know the song and I like the song and I think it was.
No, that scene, you have to admit though, it was so fucking weird and so random that, like, for me, makes it kind of iconic.
So what does Lizzie Borden?
When we talk,
go ahead, Big Mike.
When we talk about this scene, we will be talking about it as in the top 100 worst scenes in streaming history.
Yeah, I'm not saying iconic good. I'm just saying
I agree.
Memorable. Let's say memorable. Let's say memorable.
That's a good way to put it.
I will remember how bad this was. I will really remember how bad this was.
So are we saying the next one they're doing is the Lizzie Borden? Okay, so this takes place in the 1800s. Jesus. Does she get herself a Soul Train moment? And what song does Lizzie Borden get?
I hope so.
I'm thinking
it's like a nice string quartet.
No. I think she's got to get some Amy Winehouse.
No.
Back in Black.
No. Stevie Nicks.
Ooh.
Stevie
Nicks, huh?
Nicks.
Yeah, because first of all, it's Ryan Murphy, so it's got to be Stevie Nicks.
Guys, I got to be honest with you. As much as we don't want it, it's going to happen. Led Zeppelin.
You know, that's not bad either, actually, because so it's in the 1800s, so they'll stick her in a casket with a horse carriage pulling her, and it'll probably you might play Stairway to Heaven.
There you go.
Oh God, yeah, they play the immigrant song while it ends. Ah.
time.
Jesus.
What is happening right now?
What is happening?
What are we doing? Yeah. Okie dokie.
Sonny,
So
would you like some sausage?
yeah,
Sonny,
little
would you
Freddie
like
got
some
fingered in that
sausage?
moment.
Just
Holy shit. So, yeah, to all the listeners out there, please go listen to Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes and put it back on the charts. It deserves to be there because it can't be performed live anymore.
I agree
yeah,
with that. To be fair, I agree with that.
You know
I
what?
agree with that.
Yes. I agree.
with
I
that.
agree with that. Too.
We need to
I
own,
approve this message.
We need to own Owner of a Lonely Heart and bring it back from the sodomy it received from the scene.
Yes.
Sodomy.
That's fair. That's fair. It deserves to be back. A lot of
true.
movies
All right.
and shows have been bringing back these older 70s and 80s hits. And it is a great fucking song. Just so we all know that the meaning of the song does not mean what's happening in this scene. And it definitely doesn't fit with Ed Gein's personal life. So it's just very funny. But then again, he was indeed an owner of a lonely heart because when you pulled, he had the one heart and he pulled it out. So it was a lonely heart.
Boiling.
He was boiling it. He was looking just to keep it safe. Psycho. But okie dokie. So we need to touch on one more thing before we get to our lesson. And this show is about someone's life that was he's a quote unquote serial killer because technically he's only confirmed for 2 kills. You have to be 3 or more to be considered a serial killer. Let's go with the flow on that one. But in order to be a serial killer, you have to do, Mr. Malave, what's that word to be serial? What do you have to do?
Kill.
Kill. You have to kill. That's true.
Yes, you have to kill, but not only kill, right? You have to kill in the ways that is just so goddamn scary, so goddamn gory that it's glorious.
I won't survive because of glorious gore. And I won't survive. I won't survive.
Oh yes. I almost messed up that. I actually did mess up that segue. But you know what? It's fine. You know why? Because they also messed up the Ed Gein story, and we're still talking about it, right? But I'm talking about some glorious stories. What they did not mess up, and they did not fall short on is the gore. Ooh, when I tell you, we start off with some gore and then we end with some gore and a weird little stairway thing. But that was also gory too. It was kind of weird. But yes, we get so much in here. We get hanging. We get a bunch of hanging, actually. People hung themselves a lot in this show. We get a lot of skinning, right? And skinning people is also really gory and like pretty fucking grotesque. We get people taking pictures of people getting skinned. It was weird, I know, but it's also Ed Gein. You know what I mean? It's also Ed Gein. Then, of course, we get the iconic chainsaw. We do get chainsaw kills. We get more than 2 because then we get like 2 more on top of that. They were probably the same people, but we saw more of it, right? We saw a lot more of it. We get some stabbing. Everyone loves a good old-fashioned stabbing, right? Everyone loves that, you know, and the nice little ching, ching, ching with the everything. We get it all in this movie. We get a lot of blood just getting washed down the drain. We get a lot of washing of blood. We get people getting hit with logs, right? Because people die from logs all the damn time, right? We get people getting hit with logs, but the best one that I must say, it's an old-fashioned one because Ed Gein uses it a lot in the show too. He shoots 2 people with his nice rifle right in the eye. He has amazing aim, by the way. You ever realize that? Like, he has crazy aim. He did say he shoots squirrels, so they're really fast and small, so I guess he has to have good aim. You know, I guess he has to have good aim, right? But just shooting people square between the eye or through the eye is kind of impressive, if you don't say so myself. And I think Arthur Klein would be very impressed. Very impressed. But I gotta say, people, in this whole entire series, the glorious of gore, the best kill in my book has to go to Miss Bernice. Yes, I understand she got shot in the face, but the way it was shot, it was from behind. You see her eye just burst, but it's not just that did it for me. It was when we see her upside down and he just happens to just just chainsaw her right down the middle. Now I understand they actually got that from Out the Clown. I got to be honest with you. But not to say I didn't enjoy it, not to say that it wasn't glorious, because indeed, people, in this Ed Gein story, besides all the damn stabbings, besides all the shootings, and all the hitting in the head with a damn log and the skinning, I got to say, getting shot in the back of the head through the eye and then getting your whole private parts just chainsawed down and then used and abused is by far the most disgusting, but the most glorious of gore in the Ed Gein story.
Yes, sir. I have to agree
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
I agree with that. 1,000%.
This makes sense.
She got executed.
She executed. Just
She was executed technically. 'Cause
Executed,
It was
stop.
it was behind. She didn't know it was coming, and
Right.
it was from the back of the head, which is an execution. But yes, that was. And you're right, sir. It was a good shot. He did say
shot.
he shoots the squirrels, but yes, the upside down hanging. Holy shit! I don't know if you've seen the Hannibal television show.
Oh yeah,
But they do
yeah.
that in the show, and gory. Oof. Great show, by the way. Fantastic show. All right,
Better
Mr.
than-
Malave.
Inspired by Ed Gein.
It was
Inspired by Ed Gein.
Well, technically. We don't. We're
Everything
going to keep tipping our cap to Ed Gein. But Mr. Malave, that was good old fashioned glorious gore. And I have to agree, this show was pretty decently gory. So that's kind of nice.
I love it.
We've been missing it for a bit. So, and he was playing with vaginas that he put by his spot.
And then like
Bulbos.
dried up vaginas too.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
Likes to dry
You know,
vagina. No one likes a dry vagina.
no, that's why we have to get away from this, because we don't want to talk about dried vaginas. And you know what, Mr. Malave, because you decided to bring that up, you brought something up that's nasty. That's sick. You didn't even should be
it's just
talking
looking
about
at me
this.
like, what are you talking about?
It's just because that's, you know what, when you run into these problems, you, sir, need a lesson from the cigarette smoking man.
Mijo, listen close, aquí está la verdad. If your house says get out, don't be living with that. Dancing with demons, pero con ritmo. Eddie drops wisdom with every humor. Lessons from a cigarette smoking man with a puff and
Hey, kid, let's light up. Last time you got me all pissed off with your bad writing, Hollywood. I don't want to talk to you. Oh, what? You say you redeem yourself. How? A new story? And you made an Ed Gein adaptation again. Are you exploring new insights from forensic psychology on his case? Oh, just pushing the unreliable narrator on a bit until like the last episode. Very cutting edge. And nobody's seen that before. But you're going to intersplice the impact Ed Gein had on other serial killers in Hollywood Horror Story. Wow, that's actually interesting. How? Oh, in the last episode? And with some scenes sprinkled all over the other episodes. Look, Hollywood, I get it. You are trying to be edgy. Tell cool stories. I see the effort. I really do. But your story's a mess. Half unreliable narrator, half meta commentary. You have 24 storylines running in each episode, and you still have like 7 of them. Look, keep it simple, keep it stupid. Streamline your stories. Tell one story at a time. Also, don't write a supporting character that doesn't have a resolution and who actually didn't have a connection with Ed Gein. That's just plain old stupid. No, Mr. Hollywood, go back, rewrite this mess. Go back and rewrite it. You have Ed Gein's mother waiting for him like Leo DiCaprio waited for Kate Winslet in heaven in Titanic. That's just wrong. Try harder. No, you just added a bunch of fake history to the show. Did you not do your research? No? Well, I noticed. Till next time. Here's looking at you, kid.
Hollywood needs to take your advice, sir.
I mean, they should listen right now.
They need to take the advice.
Yeah, yes. Last time I scolded them really hard, but they still haven't listened.
No. No,
I mean,
they've been disappointing so much that it's almost like we have to go back to the classics.
Agreed, right? We might have to do that. I might have to take everybody on board on that train.
Yes, I agree. I think that's the only way it was good. And nowadays, they have been just dropping the fucking ball. So there's only one way to do that is to hop on the train. Big Money, you are going to be the conductor on that one. And we're going to go back to the classics and talk about some classic horror, classic Hollywood.
Classic, like real classic. I'm not. When we say classic, some people go like, "Oh, classic Halloween," like Halloween, and you say Friday the 13th. No, we're going before that, before the times. We're going back to the time of The Exorcist and before. We're going to see Devil's Reign. We're going to be seeing Hammer horror. We're going to be seeing Universal classic horror. We're going to be seeing all the B movies from the 50s, all the B movies from the 60s, all the stuff that, was well thought out. Some of it is garbage. Let's not deny it, but we're also going to enjoy watching the garbage. And we're going to be sitting at the cigarette smoking man's lounge, and we're going to be seeing a bunch of great stuff, and we're going to have a blast. So come join us once in a while. And we're not going to be doing it weekly. It's going to be a monthly episode because the cigarette smoking man is busy. But we are going to be watching one or two movies. So we're going to start off with Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein in order to celebrate a movie that's going to be showing up on Netflix soon that we are going to be also talking about soon. Isn't that right, Mr. So Smooth?
Oh, indeed, Sarah. I honestly, I think that's a perfect way to start doing the Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, because yes, there is going to be a Frankenstein movie coming out. If I'm not mistaken, it is next month, actually, and it will be on Netflix. And Oscar Isaacs is in it.
Oh, Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I love Oscar Isaac.
I think he's awesome.
I think he's awesome. I think he's the more talented Pedro Pascal, in my opinion. Sorry.
Don't you ever talk about Pedro that way.
Jesus. He got
I said
deep with that.
I said more talented. I said more talented. I didn't say he wasn't talented. I think Oscar Isaac is a little bit better than.
I have to agree. I think Oscar Isaac is a better actor. Takes better roles. Takes more risks.
Not that Pedro's bad. That's.
Yeah, I'm saying Pedro's bad. No, I agree.
But I think like Oscars deserves his dues more. Like
sure.
That's basically what I'm trying to get to. Like,
that's fair. I agree.
Would Ed Gein wear his skin? All right.
So, alrighty then. Well, it is indeed time to say good. That's a perfect way to end this. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say sayonara because we need to end this right now before Mr. Malave keeps asking us weird questions. So, as we all know, every time we talk about a movie, every time we talk about a series, and when we finish it off, say your goodbyes and let us know if you would give it a second round. Edie, when I mean would you give it a second round is would you recommend it and would you watch it again? That's what it means to give it a second round. So we'll start with Mr. Malave because I don't want him to ask any more weird questions.
Hey, that was a good idea. So that's it's a loaded question, right? Because it's a show, right? Parts of the show I would watch again. But if I have to sit down and be like, hey, I'm rewatching Monster, the Ed Gein Story, I would not say that because I cannot give it a second round because I am probably never, ever going to watch that show again. It's just too heavy. It's too much. And there's a lot of shit that pisses me off in it that I won't even want to get through another episode. So, no, I would not. Listen, if you're into it, like if you're into psycho killers and you all this stuff and you want to know a little bit more, there's a lot of other Ed Gein stuff that you can watch that are not going to fabricate a lot of bullshit, right? So watch that and not the monsters. But if you want to just be slightly entertained and watch Charlie do some weird shit, then go right ahead. But for me, I cannot do that, so I will not give it a second round. And yeah, it was fun talking about it. It was fun exercising demons and asking weird questions. I enjoyed all the glorious gore in the show, but ultimately it's a no for me, dog. I would not give it a second round. And that's just coming from your boy, the music man, Mr. Malave. And until next class, people, I'll see you soon. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Malave. Me and you, sir, have so much to talk about and so much to review. We still need to do that review on the movie Him, starring Marlon Wayans. Two athletes need to definitely review that film. A lot coming from me and Mr. Malave. And now we're going to go down to the evil Barbie herself. She will be featured while her actually and Florida's favorite creep, Sabrina, will be doing Welcome to Derry. So that's going to be very exciting. Edie, say your goodbyes. And again, would you give it a second round?
I do not think I would give it a second round. I definitely would recommend it. I would say I think it's worth watching. I do.
Okay.
I think it's worth watching. A second time though, no, definitely not. Don't think so. No.
Okay.
But if you want to see Charlie Hunnam in lingerie and you want to look at his body, I highly recommend.
Okay, that's good. And jerk off.
Oh, I didn't jerk off.
No, not you.
Not
he
yet.
jerks off. Not
Okay.
yet. Okay, there we go. There it was. We got her to say it. She put it out there. And say your goodbyes too. Don't forget to say your goodbyes.
Oh, well, goodbye. I hope to see everyone soon again. And I have some stuff planned, so I'm excited about that.
Very excited.
Very excited.
We're very, very excited. And of course, you will be doing, like
I'm
I mentioned
scheming.
before, you're going to be doing Welcome to Derry. You and Sabrina tag teaming up to talk about that. Before I move on to Big Money, you love yourself some Charlie Hunnam. How do you feel about Bill Skarsgård?
I feel good about him.
Okay.
Wait, why?
I don't know. He
Oh,
might-
because he's in. Oh, yeah, he's in that. I literally forgot. I was like, why are you asking
he's
me that?
fucking Pennywise.
Okay, now yeah, but I didn't know that he was playing him in the show. I actually didn't know that.
You didn't know? Oh, so you haven't seen a trailer then?
No, I don't believe I have.
Oh, good. Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
Okay.
Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Yes, Bill Skarsgård
I
plays
actually didn't
Pennywise.
know that. I was like, why are you asking me that?
He plays Pennywise, and he is going to be in the show because it's it.
Oh.
And Welcome to Derry.
That's exciting. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense because he was Pennywise,
and he might.
but I didn't know.
He might have six pack. Might have a six pack. And if Pennywise jerks off, I'm turning it off. I swear to God. Swear to God. Not watching that shit. Now let's move on to the final man, the cigarette smoking man himself, Grand Wizard of Horror. He's going to be getting his brand new series again, as he mentioned, once a month. We're going to be talking some classic horror, talking about Big Money Eddie.
Hey, everybody. We've been on a journey. It's been a great journey. We've talked about Charlie Hunnam's ass. We talked about Ed Gein's mother in the Stairway to Hell, looking like Kate Winslet and Leo DiCaprio. We've talked about the Soul Train. We talked about a lot of things. But when it comes down to it, we got to boil down to one essential, very important question. And here, I got to be honest. Would I give it a second round? Would I give it a first round? I already gave it a first round because we had to review it. But if I were to tell you right now, should you watch this show? I say skip it completely. Skip it completely. Don't watch this show. Don't give it a first round or a second round. Watch a documentary about Ed Gein. Good documentary. I don't know one off the top of my head. And after you do that, watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, and Silence of the Lamb for 100 times each. And enjoy that. And give it that 100 rounds. Because those are great movies that we should watch over and over and over and over and over. This show, we need to forget about real quick. We need to immediately erase it from our memory. Like, delete. We need to multiply this show by 0. That's what I'm saying. So the point is, I didn't like it. And having said that, Big Money Eddie, Grand Wizard of Horror, Master of the Macabre, and the cigarette smoking man himself. Signing off, excited about you joining me in my cigar lounge, cigarette lounge, hookah lounge, whatever you want to smoke. You can grab a smoke. You grab yourself a coffee because we're going to be doing some nice, relaxing conversations about the classics, and we're going to get a good deep dive into that. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Big Money. I'm very excited to hear that series, to be on that series, because I know you're going to be bringing on many different guests every single episode, so it's going to be very interesting. And this is an opportunity for the listeners to not only be able to talk classic, but to learn. There's so much to learn about classic cinema. And this is a perfect opportunity to learn from the cigarette smoking man himself. I will definitely be there with a cigarette and some coffee too. I'm going to do it. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. Well, I guess I'm the final one. I would not give this a second round. I didn't truly like it that much. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was that great. Again, Charlie Hunnam, props to the man. He did a great job. Amazing six-pack. Jerks off really well. I guess that's the most props I can give to that. But I feel just, they really kind of pissed me off with the too much stretching the truth and the fabrication. It's just the insult to Anthony Perkins. Just doesn't work for me. And if you're going to tell me a story, tell me a story. I'm not asking for the never ending story because that's sad. And I loved Artex, and I didn't want Artex to die, but he does die, and it's unfortunate, but he does come back. Why am I talking about the never-ending story, you ask? Because this is a fucking fabricated fucking story, and it's like a fucking fairy tale. And that's what it was, okay? So I feel, Ryan Murphy, get your shit together when it comes to telling these stories of these serial killers. Stop trying to make us feel bad for them and tell us the fucking truth. Because then at least we can finally make that decision if we actually feel bad. Don't fake it. Don't, as they would say, fake it till you make it. Yeah, that's in bed. That's what Charlie Hunnam was doing while he was choking himself and jerking off while standing on a chair where he could have died immediately. Okay, so that's when you fake it till you make it. But tell me the truth. Give me a story. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not excited for the Lizzie Borden story. I just can't see how this is going to be good. For some reason, she's probably going to be a lesbian, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? This is 1800s. Like, I'm sorry. I can't see it. And she's going to use a fucking axe. Whatever. Charlie Hunnam is in it, by the way. He's the father. So he's going to get axed up with the spray bottle, too. Does he have his shirt off? Does he jerk off? We don't know, but we will indeed find out. My name is Tommy James, a.k.a. Mr. Oh So Smooth, a.k.a. the Smooth Effect himself. And I am the movie guy, baby. And I am your favorite movie therapist. We will, just want to throw this out there, Night School Horror will be at Spooky Empire on November 1st at the end of the month. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Sabrina might actually be there on Friday, but we will all be there, except Mr. Malave, because he's in New York. And we'll be there doing something, a lot of fun. We're crossing our fingers on that panel. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but they usually wait till like 2 weeks to a week to actually let us know. So Spooky Empire, if you're listening, send the email because we're ready to go and do the panel as we always did. We will see you guys next week. Sabrina currently is at Halloween Horror Nights. There will be an episode discussing Halloween Horror Nights and what we predict for the future. As we know, Big Money got his series coming out. Edie and Sabrina will be doing Welcome to Derry, and me and Mr. Malave are going to be hitting up some more reviews, and especially Brooklyn Horror Fest that is currently going on right now. So, just for everybody out there, please sit back, relax, and listen to the most amazing song in the world by Yes, owner of a lonely heart.